All right, here we go. Once again, this is Jose Trujillo. I am an artist, a painter. I dabble in the arts. I am one muy loco muchacho. Let me put my glove on. Damn. Oh, check this out. If you haven't seen this. Very cool, huh? I collect Trujillo on one side. And then on the other side, it's the, can you see it? Yeah, it's the website. There's my plug. I had this done a little while ago, and my wife and I were like, dude, let's get them. So we're like, yeah, let's do that. So they're pretty neat. All right, so I'm going to do a floral, sort of like an iris floral arrangement here. Very simple. I doodle when I draw. Now, you guys may be seen, I don't know, I think I uploaded one of the more crisp drawings. I tend not to go so crisp. One reason. It's very classic. Almost everybody does it. And it's very time consuming. And I like to create artwork and not just stay in one art piece forever and ever. So you will see me create more intuitive drawings. And I like these intuitive drawings because I feel like they're more true, even though something more realistic seems to be more true. But as the great book of the Tao says, art, what does it say? Something like real art looks non-artsy. So I go with that. So here's a bit of my little floral arrangement. Okay, there we go. Let's put a smiley face right here so that we know we're in a good place. All right. So here we go. I'm gonna take out my magical brush. Now you don't have to use, I don't know if you are an artist who's looking at this and being like, oh, let me see, I can learn something from here. You don't have to, in case you're doing that, you don't have to use any special brushes or anything, you know. Just make sure that if you're using oil, they're not acrylic brushes, like they're, you know, Bristol hog hair or something that is, because paint is to be pushed, right? Unless you're doing something else, and you know it's totally cool. I know that I used for hyper realistic portraits. I used to work on portraiture. I used to use some acrylic brushes, but to kind of feather and fan the glazes. So that's a whole other thing. I don't want to get you off topic here. So see, it's very simple. I kind of let the brush do the work. And the reason why is because someone put it really well. I saw a video the other day. I forgot the name of the artist. It's not that I don't want to give him credit. I forgot his name. I saw it. I don't know it by heart, so I saw him. And he's an older man who is considered like this master artist. I think I uploaded a video of him. And he's got some really great insights. Now, I like to see people now, not necessarily to learn how to paint, not because I know everything about painting, but because I'm looking, as I mentioned before, at how is it that they see the subject. I care more about that as opposed to it's fun to watch them paint, but I'm not really looking for that at this point in my life right now. I care more about their vision. How is it that they see objects or the subject? And you know, I care about that. So this man said something like, "Hi Pat, thanks for joining in." So this man said that he calls his artwork abstract realism. And I've heard different versions of that, right? Many people call that abstract realism or spontaneous realism or spontaneous abstraction. Some people call this spontaneous abstraction. Some people call this loose brushwork, post-impressionist, blah 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 blah, all this stuff. It's just painting to me. But this man said something really interesting, which I thought it was pretty deep. He was talking about how he believes that all painting, when you take it to the next level, whatever that is for you, right, in your career, or in your path, right? He says that it becomes more abstracted, and I believe that to be very true. I saw it with the great masters, and then we saw it with Salvador Dali, which he became very classic, and then he started abstracting from that, extremely classical. First, he was, of course, a post-impressionist type of pointillist, but I think we all go through stuff like that, right, in order to get our ABCs. And then he went very classic, realism, hyperrealism, and then he went more abstract, using that realism and what he knew about abstraction. Right? I find it to be fascinating when I see that, because I do believe that for me, right? Some people say that Van Gogh didn't have much understanding of art, and I mean, everybody has a point of view, right? My point of view on Van Gogh, though, is that he understood tremendous about art, and I can see it in the way that he executed the subjects. It's almost like he knows how to. It's not almost. I know he knows, because we can see in his first paintings, he has realism down, but that's not what he wants to do, right? And I think that when you have a sense of realism, whatever that is, right? Because realism means so many things nowadays, but you have that freedom to go beyond. Because when we first start painting, many of us, this is not everybody's case, right? But many of us, it certainly happened to me. I first wanted to learn how to create three-dimension and realist work, right? As soon as I started seeing beyond the Impressionist painters, because the very first thing I was interested in Impressionism, but as soon as I went there, I wanted to test how realistic I could paint. Once I tested, I didn't stay there. It's such a funny thing, because I didn't enjoy staying there. I wanted to grab the spontaneity, if that's a word. I told you guys I make up words of the different type of work, right? That I've played with, like realism and impressionism and the post-impressionist type of brushstroke, and the way that they saw the world, right? How they capture the images. And I wanted to get that, and I wanted to, because I've always been a fan of painting in a quick manner, right? And of course, I later learned that many of especially the French artists, were very much interested in that. And we saw it, like Manet said, there's only one true thing: paint what you see as quick as you can, right? And I think he was talking about something a bit deeper. He was talking, I think, about being very present in the subject. I've heard that from many other people too, like people that were not artists, painters, or like I remember reading about Wyatt Earp, and he was asked about how did he survive. I know this is way off topic, but I'm trying to drive my point home. He was asked how did he survive these gunfights, right? Being in the Wild West and whatnot. And he said, you have to be very fast, but take your time. And when I read that, I understood what he was talking about in my own way. I understood that in art. You have to be fast, but you can't be desperate. So you have to be fast in the sense that, oh, okay, well, one after another, but you have to be so in it. That's why you're fast, because you're tremendously into it. But you have to take your time. And it's one of those things, right? That, which one is it? It's both. And it's not very easy to nail it. It takes a little bit of practice, or a lot, depending on where you are. But that's what it is. And so, anyways, that's how I see this type of work. People see me paint fast. It's not just fast. I believe it's more. Because when we use fast, we almost try to diminish, right? When we see Picasso and we say, "Oh, that was so fast," and Picasso answered, "Yeah, it took me, 20 years to get it this fast," right? I kind of have the same sentiment. It's fast, but it's a different type of fast. It's not a desperate fast. I'm playing with something else. And it might not be the artwork itself, but it's the execution. The artwork is as old as it could be. We've seen this type of artwork, right? All of us have. I'm not trying to claim that my stuff is more special than, or I discovered something. No, it's the execution that I care more about. The way I paint it. I think the way it comes out, that can take care of itself. What it looks like and whatnot. But it's the execution I'm really more interested in. And I've seen countless artists talk about that. The execution of the artwork is where I get my inspiration, or not. I don't know if you can call it inspiration, but where I get my drive, my motivation. I guess, I don't know. It's got to do more with that than, oh, did I paint this hyper realistically, or did I do it super abstract, or rather than paying attention to the artwork itself, to the subject, or to the art here, I'm paying attention to myself, and it almost comes out a bit cheesy sometimes, right? To some people, because I've confess, I use it sort of as a Zen practice, sort of as a prayer, if you will. I care more about that than, because the artwork itself, it's almost letting me know what my state of mind is like, and I care more about that when I'm painting. I care more about the state of mind than the final product. The final product is a side product of it. Of course, you want it to have likeness. Of course, you want you prepare yourself for all of that, but it is not the end all be all. The end all be all is the execution of it. The execution is what makes the artwork, in my eyes.